With reasons behind a recent WWE departure and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Mentioning a new backstage role for a TNA star, Ringside News wrote that TNA Wrestling has gone through numerous changes since the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. As they went back to their roots, the company is now focusing on more backstage roles, and now it appears a couple more talent have new roles as well. According to Fightful Select, TNA has welcomed back some familiar faces in key positions. Sami Callihan recently confirmed his long-term commitment to TNA, where he will not only be an on-screen talent, but also work in the live events department. His experience promoting Pro Wrestling Revolver reportedly contributed to this decision. Additionally, Christy Hemme, a veteran of both TNA and WWE, has returned to the company as the head of marketing. Hemme previously worked in TNA's creative team and has many strong connections within the organization. It is to be noted that talent was informed of these changes on October 22nd. As Lillian Garcia returned to her role as an announcer for WWE on Raw this week, Bully Ray had this to say about it on Busted Open Radio. "I saw the nerves within Lillian. I heard the nerves within Lillian. I think Lillian was trying to be, last night, more than she needed to be. It almost felt like Lillian was trying to fill Samantha's shoes in some way. All Lillian Garcia has to do, moving forward, is be Lillian Garcia. Don't do the inflection. Don't do anything like Samantha did. Samantha did her thing. It was unique to her. Now she's moved on." Responding to Kevin Nash claiming that Triple H would have left WWE if Vince McMahon never departed the company, Jonathan Coachman said this on his Behind the Turnbuckle podcast. "What did Vince hate the most when it came to Triple H? He hated something new that people liked that wasn't his idea. Vince hated something working that wasn't his idea. Triple H came up with NXT, and you notice NXT stars would never be pushed. Now what do you see? What did you see tonight on Monday Night Raw? You're seeing NXT stars all over the place. Yeah, that's Triple H. That's his baby. His best friend, Shawn Michaels, runs NXT. Vince hated that, and that was one of the weak points of Vince McMahon. As much as he says, Tommy, I did things that were good for business, if he came up with the idea, should have been the complete sentence of that, because he didn't want to give anybody credit, much less his son-in-law, so people would think potentially Triple H is smarter than him." Touching on his relationship status with fellow AEW star Britt Baker, Adam Cole told Sports Illustrated, "We are no longer a couple, but when I say that, we both still love each other and are still friends and still so supportive of each other. That could not be more true. I think the world of Britt. I want her to be as happy and successful as humanly possible, and I know she feels the exact same way about me. We did decide to go our separate ways, but that doesn't mean that she will not be an incredibly important part of my life. Britt is absolutely one of my best friends. She's someone that I love dearly and will always love dearly, and there is no ill will between me and her whatsoever. I don't want anyone to ever think that me and Britt dislike each other. I think it is possible in situations for people who are in relationships to kind of go their separate ways, but still care about one another. The last thing I would want is fans to pick sides or anything like that."
I just got some issues too.
Jumpman.
Yeah, Jumpman.
It's kind of annoying when you're walking around, but it's cool.
I
got a butt, I'm trying not to crease them, you know?
Oh yeah, no crease.
I hate crease, to be honest. It's my least favorite thing in the entire world.
Especially because they're so nice.
And I got them at the warehouse.
At the warehouse?
Did you see those things you can put in the front so they don't crease? Oh, it's kind of like a hard toe, and it keeps them from creasing. It might be uncomfortable.
Somebody was gonna propose and they took theirs off so they wouldn't crease it.
That's so good, but also kind of douchey.
You think so?
No, that's cool.
Let me take my shoe off.
Yeah, because if you
preserving the shoe.
I get it. I got it.
Okay. She doesn't, because she doesn't.
Asked about Brock Lesnar coming back to WWE, Booker T noted on his Hall of Fame podcast, "Tell you what, man, I don't know if that's going to happen. Could I see that happening? Yeah, of course. But the game changer would be just Brock reappearing back on WWE TV in any way, shape, or form. That's what I think. That's the game changer. A lot of people, I'm sure, have thought they may not see Brock Lesnar anymore after this hiatus he's had because he's been gone for quite some time, and no one said anything, so I'm sure if some words are being dropped on commentary and in promos, yeah, it might be some plans in the work. But yeah, Brock Lesnar would be a huge game changer, but everything right now is going so well. It would just add more fuel to the fire, especially with the bloodline stuff that's going on. Is he gonna join in with Roman? There's so much data to work with, so yeah, I'd love to see Brock Lesnar back in the fold. Recalling a time an MMA fighter took his drink, Booker T said this on 6 Feet Under. "I almost made a fatal mistake one day. I had a Red Bull flip out. I came in the locker room and it was Sabu standing there with this guy. This guy was drinking a Red Bull and the cooler was right there. I looked at him and I go, 'Where did you get that Red Bull?' He goes, 'I got it out of the cooler. Who are you?' Before he says anything, 'Why are you in the locker room? Why are you drinking my Red Bull?' He's like, 'Aw, man, I'm sorry. I'll pay you for it.' I knock the Red Bull out of his hand. It hits the ground and I go, 'Why are you in my locker room? Get out of here. Get out of the locker room.' Sabu goes, 'He's with me.' 'No, he's not with you. Get out.' He starts walking out of the locker room. 'Get out of the building.' I walked him all the way to the back door and threw him out of the building. I found out he was an MMA fighter. He could have kicked my ass all over the place and I wouldn't have known it. I was that mad. He bought it."
I'm gonna miss you guys.
I know. Don't worry, we'll be back next week. We'll only be gone a few days.
Go, boys. Pack your bags. Extra hand sanitizer, extra deodorant, because you know when
Thanks so much.
pack your bags, guys. Here we go. Have a good time, man.
JD, what you got in the bag, mate?
I'm not planning on coming back.
Stop it.
You gotta come back.
Set it on Irish time for you.
You're so nice.
Thank you, my dog.
Do you guys have everything you need? You have your passports and everything? Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Passport?
Yeah.
It's overseas.
I don't need a passport going to Ireland. Everybody knows who I am.
Alright, come on.
Alright, let's go. On our bike. Social elite. We'll see you boys in Dublin for a strainer, yeah?
The boys are back in.
Passport!
He don't need it. They know who he is.
For more information regarding the recent departure of WWE announcer Samantha Irvin, Ringside News wrote that according to PW Insider, WWE was surprised by Samantha Irvin's resignation, as she was well liked and respected within the company. However, several factors contributed to her decision to leave. A primary concern was her scheduling, as Irvin was balancing her commitments between WWE and her family. Sources indicated that despite WWE's reduced road schedule compared to previous years, it still required her to be away from her daughter for extended periods. There had been discussions about her possibly working a reduced schedule, but these plans did not materialize, which may have influenced her choice to resign. On top of that, with her partner Ricochet no longer with WWE and on a different schedule, that situation might have also played a role in her decision, although this has not been explicit explicitly confirmed by sources. Sources further added that the lack of a reduced schedule made it increasingly difficult for Samantha Irvin to focus on outside projects. Her notoriety from WWE television has also led to increased interest from other parties outside WWE, creating opportunities that influenced her decision to resign. According to a report by PW Insider, WWE sources have indicated that they remain on good terms with Samantha Irvin following her departure. They haven't ruled out the possibility of her making cameo appearances in the future if the opportunity aligns with both parties' interests. This was added on Wrestling Observer Radio. She's got some outside projects she wants to do, couldn't come to terms with how it worked with WWE, and off she goes. She's actually been thinking about it for a year. She's a singer. She also plays the flute, but she wants to get more involved in her music. It was just something that she'd been talking about for a long time, and finally pulled the trigger on it. And that's about it, really. She's not planning on going to AEW, not saying 100% that she won't go. Ricochet actually tweeted that she's not going, and it was not her intention to go there, which is interesting because Lillian Garcia actually did the same thing. She left once for musical reasons and things like that too, and she's cut albums and things like that, and she's back. So that's pretty much it. Samantha Irvin left on her own. It was something that she'd been considering. She didn't grow up as a wrestling person. She grew up as a musical person, and this was her passion. So she's trying to follow her passion. When it comes to the idea that she informed WWE of her intention to leave the company hours before Raw, Irvin claimed that she had told the promotion months before Raw this week. In some unfortunate news, an independent pro wrestler has passed away. With Ringside News writing, we are very sad to learn about the passing of Liger Rivera. He passed away at the age of 37 years old. At this time, we do not know his exact cause of death, but the pro wrestling world is in mourning. Liger Rivera was a well-known figure in the independent wrestling scene. The news was confirmed by the Empire Wrestling Federation on Tuesday, October 22nd. After word of his passing spread, there were many memorials posted on social media. Jaguar Montoya tweeted out to say, "I love you, Liger Rivera. It breaks my heart that we couldn't be the support you needed. You're a bright light in a room of dim bulbs even when you yourself didn't believe it. You're more than my slamily. You're my friend. I'll never get your stupid little laugh out of my head." Rivera's career was largely centered in California, where he competed primarily in the Empire Wrestling Federation based in San Bernardino. Trained by Jesse Hernandez, Rivera became a prominent performer in the region's independent wrestling circuit. His career also included a 6-year run with the National Wrestling Alliance from 2006 to 2012. During his time with the EWF, Liger Rivera achieved notable success, capturing the America Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship twice. In 2008, he also teamed with TJ Perkins to win the EWF Tag Team Championship. Rivera's final match took place in 2018, where he faced Fidel Bravo at a Hood Slam event in Oakland, California. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.